So there we go. All right, so going forward, what you're going to do is you're going to disable the head. Make sure you're on frame 2, right? So we had this set from our last class, which is frame 1, 3/4, frame 2 is front view, frame 3 is your profile. Making sure that you stay on your frame 2 as you're working in this current time. You're going to disable the arm comps for the time being. Also disable the pelvis comp, so it's easy for you to see what you're doing. And with the neck, I'm going to start there, turning on the formers. And hide the torso for the time being as well, and the patches. Here, I'm just going to just slide this down a little bit so you can see the line work of where the neck looks or where the neck is, and just shift that, sort of match it. Same thing here and here. I'm just going to bring this down a little bit. Okay, so from there, you have that going on. This might be a little bit, I might have pulled this in just a little bit too much. So make sure as you're doing your deformation, you're always going back and forth between these two keys. The two keys are your arrow keys that are next to M, the letter M. Okay, so it's your greater and lesser than keys. All right, so from there, I'm just going to disable the neck, disable the torso, and I'm going to for the belt, I am going to create a new composite, and I'm going to pop it into where the belt would be. I'm going to take the belt and all the elements of the belt and put it there. I'm going to change this composite to belt comp, and then change that from bitmap to pass through. Okay, so what this does is just allows me easier access of disabling the belt. From here, I'm going to adjust this body, and the way to adjust the body is thinking that just to understand the way the torso works. So just by pulling this point, you get to see this line work from his neck to the chest area, and then here would be the shoulder. So what you're not going to do is you're not going to do this, okay? You're going to just put it roughly about there. And you're just going to follow that line there. And again, because of that initial curve that was in the body, we're just going to have to try and straighten this as much as we can. As you can see, I'm pulling the Bezier handles so that we can get some difference there. And just by pulling it, you can see it straightens out the line a little bit. And just try to get that line as straight as you can. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just as straight as you can.
Isha asked, when do you use bitmap in composites?
Never.
Never. Okay.
Yeah, you never use bitmaps in composites. Okay, here. Okay, so as you can see, this little indentation is happening here. That's happening just simply because of the that bend that was happening in the lower back. But it's not a problem so much because the belt covers it. Okay, so with that, I'm going to now test it. Okay. Okay, so going to exit the belt now. Disable the torso. Belt. So here's the details. Okay, just going to disable the details for a second. And for the belt, bring up the performers. Holding Shift, click to select both at a time. This allows for easier movement. Right about there. And it might get a little bit hard to sort of see what's going on in terms of the line work when you get this close. As you can see, it's very, very blurry off to these sides. So you're just going to try and match it as best you can. Okay, and of course, I'm expecting you guys to utilize, your own discretion in being able to make judgment calls, because you're not going to match the design perfectly. Okay, you're just going to try to get as close as you can, and to the extent that it works. Okay, so gonna do that test there. Okay. Activate the first detail. Actually, so remote. Okay. There. And select these points, holding Shift, so I can move them all together in one go. Now I'm going to bring the belt back. I'm bringing the belt back because I need to match these lines. Okay, just like this.
Patricia's saying that the rotation is not appearing to her in the character reference, or the reference for the character rotation. She's wondering if you know where she could find it.
The character is not appearing?
Based on what she's saying, I think she means the drawn reference for the rotation, like the profile, 3/4, the model sheet. That's the words.
The model sheet's not appearing. Just try to see if it's deactivated.
And Hayden asked if the audio will be recorded as well as, or just the screen.
It's both. The audio will be.
All right.
Patricia, the design sheet is not disabled, but it's not there. Okay, so go ahead and re-download the file from before and try it again. Possibly something didn't get downloaded. If anything, what you could also do is you could pull the design file from one of your previous other files as well and just pop it in. Okay, so I'm going to continue on and just work the other side detail. So if you guys are having issues with opening the file, if you open the file and something, you're having an issue with one of the elements or something of that nature, at this point, I would say just re-download the file and try it again. It would be the best suggestion right now. Okay, so just going to pull these down, just trying to match the line work. And you're going to notice as you're pulling these, that center line is going to go a little funny. Now, this is because we didn't actually separate the center line as another element. So you're gonna just play with these Bezier handles to get that line to not be that warped. So with that, and again, give a test here. Okay, sort of seems to work. The belt shape, I'm just going to adjust that a bit because it does. So there we go.
I figured out why I couldn't see the file. I hadn't properly taken it out of the zip file that I downloaded it from and like exported onto my computer. So now I can see the
Yes.
stuff.
Yes. When you download the file, that comes in a zip format, and you always have to unzip to
Yeah.
actually access the file properly.
Yeah, I didn't unzip it.
Okay.
There we go.
All right. So as you can see, what I'm doing right now is I'm being being nitpicky here. Okay. And to the degree that you can, I sort of want you guys to be a little bit nitpicky as well. Just because it just speaks to, your quality of work, your standard. Okay. So now with the torso and the neck, okay, I'm just gonna go back and forth between the two, and you can see that we're starting to get that change in shape, which actually looks like he's rotating.